Hello everybody, welcome to today's session. I'll be talking about pride. Now this will be the last part. Last time I started talking about pride, and I finished somewhere in the middle, and I said we'll finish it in another video. So this is the another video. Alright, I hope you have a great evening. God is honored and God be praised. Thank God for this day. Lord, thank you for this session and just teach through me. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for who you are. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Alright, there we go. So how do we deal with pride then? Having last time talked about pride and how it works. Well, first of all, it is understanding, really coming to the understanding that we are nothing without Christ. This understanding should be literal, should get to a point where it's literal, where you understand that, listen, we as Christians, as soon as you get born again, you are nothing without Christ. Now yes, there's a part where I have nothing in terms of I cannot do anything. Yes, I would be lost, but also you are nothing. That part. But Christ is what lives in you. Anyway, let's go to Galatians 2 verse 20. Here we go. It says, my old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. So I live in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. This was Paul speaking. You have to understand that when you get born again, one of the most powerful things about being born again is the fact that you yourself have died. You remember, you died in Christ. The nature that you had died, and now it's supposed to be Christ who lives. Christ lives in us. So if it's Christ living, there's nothing for us to boast about to say that this is any achievement or anything is because of us. Anything that is done is because of Christ. And what right do we have to take ownership of what God does? Because God does everything. As a matter of fact, if you think about it as a Christian life, if you're very honest with yourself, you realize that most things that happen in your life, God is just really gracious to you, because you don't really earn, or you never reach a point where you have actually done enough. You know, God engraces you to even go more and more and do more and more for Him. So that's the first thing. Understand you are nothing without Christ. You died in Christ. You died, and now Christ lives in you. Now also, another thing is to realize that it's all God's mercy. Exodus 34 verse 6 and 7 makes us understand. Okay, let's read it. The Lord has passed in front of Moses, calling out, Yahweh, the Lord, the God of compassion and mercy. I am slow to anger and filled with unfailing love and faithfulness. I lavish unfailing love to 1,000 generations. I forgive iniquity, rebellion, and sin, but I do not excuse the guilty. I lay the... Okay, it gets very scary from there. But in another version of the Bible, it makes it even more clear. Even here, talk about the God of compassion and mercy. See, the way that God works, at the end of the day, even as we've gotten born again, even us getting born again, what God did, even in sending His Son to die on the cross and to lay His life, was all mercy, you know. Because technically speaking, we were supposed to do something about this because we caused the mess, and mercy bailed us out. And at the same time, many things that we do, you know we take the things or think of ourselves as better. You know, we've done these things, we've not done that thing, at least we're doing that thing. But listen to me, even the things that you're doing right, it's God's mercy. God is helping you to do the right things. If you understand this thing, it will help you. You see, you know, people who have kept their virginity, sometimes they feel like they've earned it. Listen, God has helped you. You don't understand that. You yourself also know the struggles you've had, the days that we thank God for His mercy. You know, we thank God for the things that we have not done. You know, Sometimes this is the bad way we have with older people who have passed through some things. You know, they pass through some things and then they don't really tend to show understanding, or they act as if they don't know what struggles are. That is not good. It is good to show mercy like God shows mercy. Number 3. Now, do not deflect on messages on pride. This is how we deal with pride. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 2. You will see that in 2 Timothy 4 verse 2. This is what I believe Paul is instructing Timothy. Saying, you see, preach the word of God. Be prepared, whether the time is favorable or not. Patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage people with good teaching. Listen, he was supposed even to rebuke with people with with teaching. Now the part of rebuke, listen, there will be times you have to be rebuked as a person. I believe that if you understand very well, you should know that there should be people over you, people who are you are under their authority. Now, it is their job many times to also rebuke you, because you see, whom God loves, the Bible says, he chastises. There are people he corrects you. So hey, be correctable. You see. Let me see what Job 5 verse 17 says here. Follow with me. Job 5 verse 17. But consider the joy of those corrected by God. Consider the joy of those corrected by God. Don't despise the discipline of the Almighty when you sin. You see? So when we do something and something out of pride, you will be told, this is a prideful thing. It is not a problem. Take it and resist the spirit of pride and bind it out of you. You will take a violent approach to it. Lord, have mercy upon me and help me. And at the same time, Lord, I bind spirits of pride. I remove them away. Let them go away from me. Have that approach of listen. When someone is correcting you, take it. It's not a condemnation. You are, as a Christian, nothing's supposed to leave you condemned. Another thing, realize that pride is a consistent battle that conceals itself. The Bible makes us understand in Luke 4 verse 13. You see, when Jesus was tempted on the mount, the Bible says that the devil left him for a season. You see, so it was for a season. See, he planned to come back and do some things. Remember, and you say he came back in form of the Peter. Remember how when Jesus was with the disciples, Peter made a suggestion, and then Jesus had to say to Peter, hey, you spirit of something. You would actually start and go away, get thee behind me. See, he had come back another season. So be aware of that. Then another thing is, do the things which are, technically speaking, humiliating. Alright, Philippians chapter 2. Alright, Philippians chapter 2 verse 7. Now let me check here. Woo. Alright. Oh, yeah. Here. The better one. Philippians chapter 2 verse 7. See, but Jesus emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. See, it even says he made himself of no reputation in another thing. You see, reputation is a bad thing for you as a Christian. The thing of reputation, you see, you may be working in a bank, wherever you work, disregard reputation. That's the only way you fight pride. It's like always have the question, who am I? When someone asks you to do something, you start feeling a certain way. Who can ask me to ask? It's like, hey, who are you? What is you're supposed to have given up your reputation. Alright. Then remember also where you came from. That's number 6. Remember where you came from. You come from an African home, you slept in many places, you've done humiliating things for smaller things. But when you're in the world, you didn't humiliating things. Now you're a Christian and you're being asked to do some things and you're acting as if it's so big. I cannot sleep in this place. Don't be snotty. Remember where you came from. Lastly, ultimately, please God. Alright? Colossians 3 verse 23 makes us see that we are supposed to live for God. Say, in everything, do it as you're doing it as unto God. This is how to defeat pride. But always remember, God is with you and God is about you. All right, have a great time.